podcast to hear flamenco. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music. Mhm. Oh, I'm good. That was a lot. Yeah. Well, the Christmas album came out at the beginning of December, and we are so excited to finally release it because we actually recorded it in August of 2018. And Sophie was 8 months pregnant at the time when we recorded it. and she's living in Calgary. She's originally from Australia, but moved to Calgary, got married, had kids, and so on. And so it was just really tricky time to release it, even though we got it done. So we waited till this year to do it, and it was crazy because I recorded in Mississauga at Metalworks. She recorded somewhere in Calgary, and then brought the two pieces together. And we only met each other in November of this year for the first time. And yeah, and the album was completely done at that point. So it was crazy that you can do that, and it was really awesome that you could do that, and not have to be at the same place in the same time. So the album is just harp and violin. It's extremely soothing, calming, and it's refreshing because there's no lyrics, and everybody knows the songs that we have on the album. They're all classic Christmas carols. The album is called Christmas Classics, and so if you're looking at the album, it's available everywhere digitally. It's Christmas Classics by Sophie Armstrong, and then I'm the feature musician on the album. So check it out, download it. I'm sure by now, everybody's kind of getting sick of the same old Christmas carols that they're hearing. I don't know. I just think something calming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. That's definitely one of the reasons why I chose to play the harp, is because it's such a magical sound. Um, I remember watching Disney movies as a kid and being like, wow, what instrument is that I'm hearing? And my mom would say, well, that's the harp. And I'd be like, well, that's what I want to learn, because we had a house full of pianos. Everyone played the piano. I still play the piano. I love the piano, but this is so different. It's so unique, and just if you can hear it live, it's just totally different because there's so many vibrations happening all at once. Mhm. Yeah, so I started with the piano basically when I was like right out of the womb. My mom taught piano in the home. So every room that wasn't a bedroom was like a teaching room. And that's still the case to this day, actually. She used to wheel me up in my crib right next to her while she taught piano lessons. And so piano was always a part of my life. And then I started playing the harp when I was 12. So I went to the Niagara Symphony. That's where I'm from, is the Niagara area. The Niagara Symphony actually has like a summer music school program, which is amazing because you can, for 2 weeks, attend the program. It's like going to school, but it's like just music school. You choose an instrument that you want to kind of experiment with. You have to have a certain level of musical background because they don't want people that can't read music, for example. You have to be able to read music. Harp was one of the options, and so I remember walking into the room and just seeing rows of harps, and I was like in love. Like that was it. I never looked back after that. Yeah, sure. Mhm. Thank you. Absolutely, yeah. I actually don't think I posted a link on my website. Maybe I should have. But yeah, if you visit Sophie's website, you can definitely download it there. But you shouldn't have any problem finding it digitally. Um, Honestly, like for me, there wasn't really any challenges after it was done. It was, I think, getting into the studio, like preparing for that, that was the most challenging. Because after I was done recording in the studio, it was out of my hands. She took it to Calgary and had it in Calgary. I had no idea what the album sounded like for several months after. Um, like I had no clue. So the waiting part was really hard for me. But in preparing, like not knowing what she really wanted from me as far as arrangement was concerned. So I feel like I recorded every Christmas carol like two or three different ways so that she could use whatever she wanted in whatever capacity. Because I knew she was going to be playing melody most of the time, but I did want to, give her some options to incorporate some solo parts. As you heard in Away in a Manger, there's a solo part in there. But as well, like how busy did she want the arrangement of harp to be? Did she want it simple, or did she want it flamboyant? Did she want lots of glisses? Did she not? It was really tricky. So a lot of communication over the phone and over Skype as to exactly like what that would look like and sound like, and then just went into the studio and gave her more than enough material to work with. This way I knew I wouldn't have to go back, and I knew that she would just have a lot of options. So it probably would have saved us a lot of time had she been there in person and had recorded her part first. It would have saved me a lot of time. But in the end, it got done, so it doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was worth it for sure. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. A lot of good, clear communication. I prefer to make my own arrangements personally, so I need to hear something so that I know what I'm doing. Because in most cases, the harp is adding something to something that's already complete. So in this situation, she had not recorded her part yet. Because it was kind of the opposite. Yeah. Usually you do it the other way around, right? Like you have your part done and then the harp is added to it. So I think that's what made it so tricky in this situation. So I prefer if you give me what you've got, and then even if it's a rough, whatever, and then working with a click track is really important. And then, making my own arrangement is a lot of fun. That's what I did with, for Drake's album. I did not have a clue what I was walking into when I went into the studio. I had no idea what the songs were, what key they were in, anything, of course, like nobody does, right? So I had to actually sit down at the piano in the studio and figure out the keys for everything before I could record anything. And of course, everything was like crazy, like dominant sevenths, diminished sevenths, all these crazy chords. And then just adding some simple touches with the harp. I recorded for 2 days in there, and then they used like seconds. But it's all right. I still got paid, and it was an amazing experience, and I had lots of fun, so it was all good. But yeah, yeah. But being in the studio is definitely one of my favorite things. I think because it allows me to be creative, like in my own way, right? So yeah. Oh man. So I'm not a morning person, which is unfortunate with little ones, but I remember my mom working on her ARCT and telling me she had my brothers, they were just babies, and she was working on her ARCT and piano, and she would wake up 2 hours before them and practice. And then after they went to bed, she would practice again for 2 hours. That's definitely not what I do. I do all my practicing late at night when they go to bed. Now, the benefit is I play the harp, right? So as soon as I tuck my kids into bed, I'm like, okay, mom's going to play you some bedtime music. So I just make sure I start off with something, not like jingle bells or anything. Something, more mellow and slower. And then I can just really get a lot done once they go to bed. But for my business too, there's a whole online aspect of it as well, right? So it's just making sure that they've got something to do, and then I get onto the computer and deal with all the booking information and my clients and the emails and all of that. I think too, like, making your kids a part of the music experience is lots of fun. There's been many times where my son has had his nap right at the bottom of the harp with his feet up on the soundboard. And I have pictures of him just sleeping like that with the blanket, and telling them like about my job and like what I'm doing, and not just being like, shh, be quiet, I'm working. Like, I think it's important for them to know like how diverse what I do is, and then they can appreciate it. They're both learning how to play the piano too, so they know about practicing. They know about not getting it right the first time. And so I tell them, oh, mom's practicing now. And I'll even say, oh, I'm having such a hard time with this song. I feel like I want to quit, but I'm not going to quit. And, vocalizing that is really like a teachable moment for your kids. I remember when I was getting ready to do Zelda with Bridget, that had to be the most difficult song ever. Like, honestly, it was one page and it just repeats itself over and over and over and over again. And I think that if I hadn't told Bridget, let's do this, and I hadn't had that accountability, I don't think I would have did it, because that song was so hard, and I haven't touched it really much since we recorded it. So I'm not really performing it right now. It would take a lot of practicing to get it back up to that level, but I really wanted to do this collaboration. I loved the song, but I remember definitely, being frustrated with the song and talking to my kids about that, and then showing them the video and saying, look, you know what, here you go. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. The Great Fairy Fountain. Yeah. 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 Well, the song was not recorded using that small harp that you see on the YouTube video. It was recorded on the bigger harp. I used the smaller harp in the video because we wanted that fairy look, and so of course the smaller harp was better for that. But The tricky part about Zelda wasn't just the chords, it's the fact that I had to do a lot of pedaling with the harp. And when you're recording it, you don't want to hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of the pedals changing the sharps and flats and accidentals. So that was honestly like the trickiest thing. And also like just getting my hand from here to here like so fast. It was like, oh, I just remember talking about the tempo with her and I'm like, okay, we need to slow it down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But anyways, it's a great video and I'm glad that we did it. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, sure. Mm, okay. I think so. Okay. All right. Oh, it has to be quick. I gotta be quick. I don't know. I don't know. I guess my most recent was on the Being Frank show. Yeah, 12. 5 or 6. Oh, Katrin Finch. Um, Creativity. Which YouTuber? Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm a sucker for Jimmy Fallon. Even though he's not a YouTuber. I don't know. I just like his video. Yeah. Okay. A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. Um, River Flows in You by Yuruma. Um, oh my gosh, I don't know. You know what? Dumbo. I love the lullaby from Dumbo. I play that at the hospital all the time. Yeah. Yeah, let's finish them. I'm too slow. I know. Oh, okay, easily. My mom for sure, and I have a couple of my parents, both of them really, but my mom more so from the musical aspect, um, and just some mentors in my life. You know, like I have some like nobody would know them, but yeah, I just have some good mentors in my life. And I do admire my favorite harpist, Katrin Finch. She just overcame breast cancer recently. Yeah, and she was a royal harpist for a while for um oh my gosh, I'm going blank. Not Prince Harry's dad. What's his name again? Anyway, she was the first royal harpist when they brought that whole tradition back in. She was the first one, and so I think it's just a really cool thing. Yeah, I can't believe I don't remember Prince Harry's dad's name. Obviously, nobody cares about him anymore. We just care about Meghan and Harry, and that's all. Yeah. Oh, cats. I have two. Mm, okay, well, I don't know names off that bat that well. I follow mostly harpists, right? So Katrin Finch would be one. Um, I follow Bridget. There you go. We all know. I don't know. There's a couple harpists. There's one that's in Tampa, Florida, and she plays at Walt Disney all the time for people like if they're walking by. She's a lot of fun to watch because she's interacting with all the tourists and stuff, and she's playing Walt Disney cover songs. And because that was the thing that made me want to play the harp was the Disney music. I think that she's amazing. Oh, there's a new one now that's really up and coming. I'd have to look on Instagram though to see their names. I don't know. Keep asking me questions, and I'm gonna. Yeah, that's okay. No, it's a lot of questions. But definitely, tonight I wanted to mention that I'm going to be on the Being Frank show tonight. So it's actually during prime time. It's Frank's Christmas special at 9 o'clock tonight on CHCH. He's going to be singing some of his favorites. I'm going to be performing solo. I'm going to be playing What Child Is This? What Child Is This is from my other Christmas album. That's solo harp, which you can go onto my website and see that, or you can also download that anywhere. The title of my solo harp album is called Heavenly Peace, and that's just solo harp Christmas carols. So just look up Heavenly Peace, Chantal Dube, you'll find it. And then also on the Being Frank show, Tammy Darling is going to be singing "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas." She did a new, yeah, she did a new arrangement on it. It's on YouTube. It's a really cute video that she's got. I would definitely recommend checking that out because nobody's really redone the song, and she does it justice. Like she does a really good job of it. So she's on this show too. So check it out. Yeah, it should be a good show. Yeah, it would be fun. Well, there's not just one thing. I can sum it up quick with a couple of things. First of all, it's be nice. That's like the most important thing. I feel like some musicians have this sense of entitlement, and I think that you can lose work like that. I think it's so important to be nice. Also, to be consistent, whether it's on social media or the look that you're trying to go for or the image that you're trying to portray. Like for me, it's all about Toronto's most elegant harpist. So I've stuck with that elegant look and I haven't let it go, and it's worked really well for me. So be consistent, be nice, and then be quick to get back to people. Like get back to people, respond to your emails, respond to your text messages, whatever. You're on social media, if you're active, don't leave people hanging for a response. Get back to them right away. So that kind of goes along with being consistent too. It's so important that you remember you're not just a musician, but you're an entrepreneur. And I think that's what a lot of musicians fail to grasp. And this is why they're working for other people who are entrepreneurs and they're not musicians because they don't know how to be an entrepreneur and a musician. So I grew up in a home with two entrepreneurs as parents. That's what really helped me out. Honestly, like if it wasn't for that mentality growing up, I don't think I would be here where I am today. But thinking like an entrepreneur. The other thing I'm going to say is my biggest thing is I'm in the wedding industry, right? Like I perform at weddings and then I also hire out other harpists who perform for me at weddings. One of the things that I've tried to do is I've looked at somebody who's really successful in that industry and I've copied what they've done. Now, I'm not talking another harpist. I'm actually talking like floral designer. I've seen where she advertises, and that's where I would advertise. I see where she goes, and that's where I go. And I try to kind of mimic the people that are doing it right and that are being successful because if they're doing it there, then chances are it's working. So I think that's important too to talk to other people that, in regards to advertising, who may not be musicians, but if it's weddings that you want to do, then look what other people that are in the wedding industry are doing to become successful and kind of follow along and copy them. That's what I mean by copy. Um, because the way advertising is being done now is constantly changing with the internet and social media and everything. Like print ads, especially for musicians, I think it's the biggest waste of money. I would never do a print ad. So that's a lot of advice, but I'm really passionate about helping other people. So there you have it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And building the network around you is really important too because you hear things like, "Oh, I need a violinist," or "I need whatever." Then you have a network of people that you can call on, and then chances are like, you're going to be working with them, so why not build your network of people that you like to work with? Someone asks you, you can be like, "Yeah, I know so and so." Bring them along for the ride with you. It's a blessing to them, it's a blessing to you. You're working with someone that you know and like and trust. And I think like just to be your real authentic self, like be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else because especially now with social media, like it's so easy to see right through that. So just being your true self, and yeah, I think that's really, really important. And not being afraid to do that because people are looking for something different. So if you're offering something that's not out there, that's okay. You know, that's definitely okay. I remember when I was first doing weddings, other harpists were just wearing black, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that's what you wear when you're performing in an orchestra, right? So that's how they were taught, and that's how they were trained. I've never done orchestral harp work, right? Never have I done orchestral harp work. So for me, I was thinking, wait, I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to be positioned right next to the bridesmaids. So I don't want to clash with what they're wearing. So it is a good idea to figure that out and find out what they're wearing and ask the couple, like, what color would you like me to wear? Or just wear black, that's fine. But always like a nice gown or something. It just takes it up a little bit to the next level. And if you could just have that one little signature thing, yeah, then you're not forgettable anymore. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Who knows what I'll be doing? No problem. Happy holidays. Thank you.